the External Action Service, which is the arm of Cathy Ashton, which she cannot work, she cannot really do her job well if she does not have this this External Action Service around her. Is not there yet. So we hope to have the decision on Monday next week, but then the whole process of finding the people, establishing the right organigram, and putting everything into place will take more months. It's only by the end of the Belgian presidency that it will be in place, which means that for the moment we have to continue to function as a traditional presidency doing foreign policy, even if the treaty says that the presidency has nothing to do with it anymore. It is a little similar with the new post of the President of the European Council. President Van Rompuy knew very well what he wanted, but he was not lucky. His first council were dominated by the current events, the sovereign debt crisis, and he still now has to put in place the system as he wanted to have it, with the European Council playing its role of impulsion and monitoring of the activity of the Union. So we have to help him to that in the second half also. So that's for the institutional part. Some people wonder, yes, but is the rotating presidency with this new system as important as it was before? Or does it still have a role as such? Or are you just sharing meetings which are left by the treaty to the presidency? I think that there are new roles which were created recently, not all by the Lisbon Treaty, but for instance, this new way of making legislation in co-decision between the Council and the European Parliament creates a new burden on the presidency, which is very heavy. I think nobody really anticipated that. The presidency before was just presiding the meetings of COREPER, of the working groups of the Council, and then you arrived at the decision. Now, half of the time of my people in the permanent representation is dealing with the European Parliament, because almost everything now is in co-decision. So they have to find the rapporteur to, as soon as they start their work, they have to get together, and the whole process of legislative process goes in permanent dialogue between the experts in the working group and me at a certain level also, and the rapporteur and the shadow rapporteurs of the European Parliament. So it is a new responsibility. Nobody else can do that, because you cannot have the whole council, the whole COREPER dealing with the Parliament. So only the presidency can do that. But it is something new and something it's very interesting, very stimulating, but time-consuming also. That's a new responsibility. ECOFIN had been forgotten by the Lisbon Treaty. In fact, the Lisbon Treaty did not anticipate the financial crisis, and certainly not the need to adapt EU instruments to the new challenges after the financial crisis and the globalization. There is nothing new in the treaty for that. Fortunately, we had the euro and the instruments around the euro, but even these instruments did not reveal perfectly adapted to the situation. So there, the only thing we have to conduct and to organize the European Union position is ECOFIN. And ECOFIN continues to be presided by the rotating presidency. ECOFIN, since the financial crisis, has become a club of people very responsible who meet mostly just themselves or with one collaborator, but they very strongly manage the economic policy of the European Union. Okay, now with the task force and the lessons that had to be taken from the sovereign crisis. President Van Rompuy is trying to organize what we call a new economic governance for the European Union. We can discuss that further later. But for the moment, it's ECOFIN. And ECOFIN is very much in the hands of the rotating presidency. So there is still a very important role for the presidency. And also, I think anyway, the question it does not really arise because the treaty, except for foreign policy, it is in the treaty that all other councils are presided by the member states in rotation. So there will be no change to that. But I think also it is rather good for the EU system to have every 6 months a group of people who really, with a lot of energy and enthusiasm, want to dynamize the process. If everything was chaired by permanent people, maybe it would lose this energy. Also, the diversity of the member states, the accents that you make. Well, I told you about the Belgian accents. We want to make the institutions work better. I know the Polish will have some other accents, but which are also very important and which would be, I think, a plus in the whole process of European integration. So I think the presidency for that is certainly something positive, and it is important also that it remains a team exercise, and at the top of the team, the Prime Minister. Even if he is not the President of the European Council, he has a role to dynamize his team and to present also a coherent team to the EU institutions. We spent a lot of time at the beginning of July, the whole Belgian government with the Prime Minister, negotiating with the Commission, well, presenting the program and the dialogue, organized the dialogue with the Commission, the political groups of the European Parliament, the Conference of Presidents, and so we had all these dialogues, but they were conducted under the chairmanship of the Prime Minister, and I think that's his role, and he will continue to have that role. So that's for the presidency. What are our priorities? Well, everyone can live them already. They were very much mentioned in the press. The first one is obviously the exit strategy from the crisis, which takes new clothes recently with the sovereign debt crisis. But the two important things I think we have to do, one is the economic governance, and the other is the regulation of the financial markets. So under the economic surveillance come all what is discussed now, all the economic governance, all what we are discussing now with the Stability Pact, and the sanctions for those who do not respect the rules of the Stability Pact, the mechanisms that we want to become more permanent. You know, we have this mechanism which we call EFSF, European Financial Stability Fund, but we want to make that permanent so that the euro is not threatened anymore. A mechanism also to monitor macroeconomic imbalances so that they can be addressed. All that we are putting into place. The instruments as such are rather easy to put in place. The problem is the role of the institutions in it. How far will the Commission be in control of the instruments? How far will it be the European Council? And what we are trying, what we will try in the second half is rather interesting. We will try to create a coherence between what we need to do in order to get out of the crisis in the budget discipline and this instrument to control the budgets of the member states, and we want to make that coherent with the EU 2020 program, so that if you make savings, you make the right savings and not those which are bad for growth. How to do that? It's through what the European Commission calls the European semester, which is more than just a European semester. It's a general approach to try to organize the monitoring of the economic policy, economic fiscal policy of the member states in a way which encourages the coherence between the fiscal stabilization and the growth policy fulfilling the objectives of the EU 2020 strategy. So to be able to put all that together without creating what we call usine à gaz in French is very difficult. So it's something we will try to do, to make something which is efficient to the point, but at the same time which is not does not get lost in bureaucracy as the Lisbon strategy was in the 20s. So that's a very important element. The other is the supervision of and regulation of financial institutions. Obviously, now after the crisis, we have that on our plate. The United States are doing the same, but obviously for us, we have to do that in agreement with the European Parliament, Council and European Parliament. We started with the Larosière proposals, which were accepted by the Council last December as a general approach, but which we are negotiating since with the Parliament. But there are a lot of other instruments also. The famous AIFM, the hedge funds directive, the directive for derivative products, how to deal with credit rating agencies, or maybe creating a European credit rating agency. In September, we will start the debate on bank levy and the taxation of financial transactions. I don't know if it will succeed, but the discussion will start. So all the consequences of the crisis and how to deal with the financial institutions after the crisis. Second important element of our program is in justice and home affairs. We have the Stockholm program, which we have to continue to implement, which is rather difficult. The crisis did not accelerate the process, and the political will of the member states did certainly not increase. But we have some ambitions in the asylum package, which is a very complicated battle, how to organize better the solidarity among member states in dealing with asylum seekers. We have obviously to inaugurate a new way of organizing the police cooperation with this new group which was created by the Lisbon Treaty, COSI, which is called COSI. And we have to continue all this approximation of national legislation in family law, because the Schengen, the fact that you don't have internal controls in the Schengen area imposes much more harmonization of national legislation in all fields. We are working very hard on divorce, as you know, and the directive on the applicable law for divorce, we do it in coopération renforcée, enhanced cooperation, which is the first time the enhanced cooperation is used in practice. We have to deal with successions also. We will start the discussion on how to organize better successions at European level, because there are more and more successions which involve people from different nationalities who go from one place to the other. So the residence cannot be the only criteria. So these are very complicated legislations, and we have a lot of people dealing with that. The third, environment, obviously, Cancun, you know, the difficulties now also to remobilize public opinion at the world level for the climate package, and the discussion about do we go to the 30% or not.